Hello everyone, JGGPilot here. Good evening from the East Coast of the United States. We are going live today, my friends, flying the Cessna 172 on a VFR flight from Isla Grande Airport in San Juan, Puerto Rico, all the way to Tango Juliet, Charlie Papa, Culebra Island, Puerto Rico. Culebra is a little island east of the mainland Puerto Rico, and it has a pretty interesting and challenging approach and landing, so hopefully we can make it in no problem. The main purpose today is to practice what we have been discussing on the previous flights on the Cessna 172, basic VFR flying on the Cessna 172 provided to all of us on the simulator. So remember to pre-fly on the exterior, remove your pitot tip cover, take away your chocks, your static port cover, and your engine inlet. For the rest of it, we're not gonna go into much detail. I already pre-flighted my aircraft and she looks pristine, she looks clean. Today I'm gonna go solo to Culebra, don't have any passengers with me or cargo. So how about we just go flying? Let's go flying. That's what we're here for, right? So let's just go flying. We are on the flight deck and I'm gonna go ahead and center myself here. I'm gonna be using BeyondATC VFR function today. Hopefully it works out pretty good on the way to Culebra, Puerto Rico. Why am I saying Culebra, Puerto Rico when I speak Spanish? Culebra, Puerto Rico. Culebra, Puerto Rico. I send the flight plan through Scene Brief. It provides pretty good integration with BeyondATC, and it did not give me any errors. Sometimes when you're using the built-in flight plan or flight planner on the EFB, it doesn't recognize stuff that you put in there for BeyondATC, and it just doesn't want to work out. So if for some reason you're trying to do an EFB flight plan and use that in your BeyondATC and it's not working, don't worry about it. Open Scene Brief, do your flight plan there. Remember, you have to have at least one waypoint 8 miles or more from the departure airport for it to recognize it. Even though we're flying VFR today, we really don't need that point. We can probably put it on the GPS just for reference. All right, so let's go flying, guys. All my pre-flight inspection duties are completed, so I'm gonna go straight to the point before starting the engine. Pre-flight inspection complete, passenger briefing, VFR takeoff. We're gonna be flying from Tango Juliet India Golf to Tango Juliet Charlie Papa, 1,500 feet on the altitude, maintaining VFR outside of the clouds and hand flying the airplane the whole way there. We have any kind of non-normals on takeoff rotation. We're gonna stop on the aircraft after rotation. If we're below 600 feet, give or take, it's gonna land us straight ahead on the water. There's a little lagoon. We're probably not gonna make it back to the runway. There's buildings and stuff around. After 600 feet, 700 feet, we'll try to make that 180 and come back to Isla Grande. All right, seats and seat belts. Yep, all adjusted and locked. Brakes, we're gonna test them real quick. So we're gonna release the parking brake. Here we go. And they are good. So brakes are test and set. Circuit breakers check in, all in, all in. Look, it was out, it will look like that. All right, so they're all in. Electrical equipment is off. Avionics master switch is off. It's right here, guys, the white one. Fuel selector is gonna go to both. It's on both, and fuel cutoff switch on. And that will conclude the before start the engine checklist. We're gonna start the engine. It's a cold aircraft. Okay, so we're gonna do the same procedure we have done before. We're gonna open the throttle to about 1/4 of an inch. We're gonna get that mixture on the idle cutoff, which is right there, right now. Prop area clear. We're gonna go look left, look right, If you could open that window, you open that up and you go. Clear prop. Clear prop. Very nice. We're gonna go here to master switch, alt, on, and battery. Outstanding. Beacon is gonna come to on. There it is, it's on. And remember, I said engine was cold, so we're gonna go with the cold procedure. Auxiliary fuel pump switch goes to on. On. Mixture full reach, and we're gonna wait between 3 and 5 seconds. Gonna close it up, which is what we have next. Mixture check for stable, and then mixture idle cutoff. And then we're gonna turn off the auxiliary fuel pump. And we're gonna start the engine, guys. So take a look, here we go. I'm gonna go on the magnetos here, left, right, left, both. We're gonna go to start and slowly but surely adding your mixture. And since I still have the flaps down because I was doing the pre-flight, I'm gonna have them, let's use flaps 10 degrees today. All right, mixture was advanced oil pressure. Let's take a look at the oil pressure. And she is showing about 55 PSI. Navigation lights, I'm gonna have them on. Avionics switch boss 1 and 2, they come to on. Radios are gonna be coming here online, and flaps retract. I got them at 10 degrees for now. And that concludes the starting the engine checklist. We're gonna have the before takeoff checklist here standing by. Before I do that, I have my heading box set to 090. It's showing here about 052, 052. My attitude indicator is level with the horizon. And we're gonna check one more time the weather here at Isla Grande. And it's showing that the meter or the altimeter is showing 3005 winds from the east, gusting conditions. Awesome, that's gonna make for a fun takeoff. So 3005 here on your altimeter, about there. And that's interesting because it's showing about 120 feet. This airport is pretty much sea level. I'm gonna go with what I know, and I'm gonna have it at about sea level in there. Outstanding. So the parking brake is set for the before takeoff checklist. Here we go. Parking brake set. Pilot and passenger seats on the utmost upright position. That's what I should have said. Seat belts check secure. Cabin doors are all closed. Flight controls free and correct. So we're gonna full aft, full forward, full left, full right, full left, full right. Outstanding. Let me click enter here so the GPS starts loading, and we can have this here in standby for now with Squawk VFR. All right, flight instruments check and set. Look, that was our next item, which we can take one more look here. There's a little message. Set course to 114. Yeah, because it's a little reference we have here going to our next waypoint, which would be runway 13 and about there 104. Culebra Airport. Fuel quantity check. Let's see how much we're showing. We have about 15, 12, 13 gallons per side. That's more than enough. Mixture set to full rich. It is full rich. Fuel selector valve. Check that is on both. It is on both. Throttle, we're gonna go to 1800 and we're gonna check the magnetos. Okay, so here we go. 1800, check your RPM. And about there, 1800, we're gonna go and check the magnetos. Let's go with the right. All right, about 100 RPMs today. That's very nice. On the left side, about 100 as well. Back to both. We're gonna check the vacuum gauge, and it's right here. It's on the green. Check your annunciator panel. Everything lights up. Outstanding. And the throttle, check back to idle. And we're gonna check that idle. It's not a rough idle. It's staying at about 600 RPM. We're gonna stabilize it back at 1,000 RPMs. Check idle and back to 1,000. Throttle friction lock is set to my taste. Strobe lights will go to on for takeoff. Radios and avionics will be checked one more time. Nav GPS switch is set for GPS for reference. Autopilot off. Elevator trim set for takeoff. You're gonna come down here and we're gonna set it for takeoff. About there, I'm happy with that. And flaps are set at 10 degrees that are preferred. Brakes release and ready to taxi, guys. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and tune Isla Grande ground 1 to 1.7. I'm gonna have 135.875 standing by for tower. And we'll see if this works good today, guys. Isla Grande ground, Cessna November 1 Juliet Golf, requesting taxi runway 9er eastbound departure.
Airbus Golf, runway 9er taxi via Bravo.
Runway 9er taxi via Bravo, November 1 Juliet Golf. She called me Airbus? Yeah, she called me Airbus G. Interesting. We'll go with that, no problem. I'm Airbus G today. Parking brake is released. Taxi light is on. Clear left. Clear right. Outstanding. Look at that beautiful island there. November 906 Gulf Delta from Air Flamenco. Have here the in-flight portion, normal takeoff checklist.
Airbus Golf, contact the Munich site tower 135.875 today.
We'll contact 135.875 Airbus Golf. We'll go with that call sign today. It's probably me that left something old on my scene brief. It's not a problem. Gonna swap it in here. It's already swapped. 135.875. Gonna come to the whole short line here, runway 9er on Bravo, and do our takeoff checklist and go to Culebra. Alrighty, my friends, here we go. Normal takeoff checklist. We're gonna check the areas clear. We have our flaps set at 10 degrees, which is the preferred one. We're gonna open the throttle to full, make sure it's set to full rich, 70 to 80. We're gonna try to maintain 75 on the climb, and flaps retract once we're clear of obstacles. All right. So we are ready to go. I'm gonna be calling tower and letting them know that we're good to go. Isla Grande Tower, November 1, Juliet Golf, Airbus Golf, ready for takeoff, runway 9er.
Airbus Golf, wind Wind 110 at 16, gust 22, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 9er cleared for takeoff, November 1 Juliet Golf. All right, I got my landing lights, taxi light, nav strobes. All my lights are on. Parking brakes release. Add some power. It is really gusty, so this is gonna look probably gnarly. All right, so here we go, guys. Normal takeoff. Mixer is rich. Full throttle. Engine instruments on the green. Airspeed is alive. Keep that hand on the throttle in case you have to reject it. 60. It's rotation speed. Let's go and pitch for those 75 knots. About 200 feet, clear of obstacles, flaps up. Convention center of Isla Grande is gorgeous. We're gonna turn to the left here slightly so we can remain outside the buildings area here of Condado and Isla Verde. Here we go, looking good, guys. There's 1,000 feet. Don't need landing lights, don't need taxi lights, I don't need any. No, that the rest can stay on. I'm gonna go to 1,500. And Isla Grande Tower, November 1 Juliet Golf request frequency change.
Airbus Golf, frequency change at your discretion. Take care.
Frequency change my discretion. Have a nice day. November 1 Juliet Golf.
Exit runway when able.
Okie dokie, here we go. We're keeping about.
Delta 1861.
Gonna fly overhead the San Juan International Airport to remain clear of traffic in case there's anybody taking off or going around.
121.7 Delta 1861.
And this is a good altitude for me, 1,500. I'm gonna cruise today at about 2,300 RPMs. The mountain area you see 12 o'clock right now is what we call the El Yunque. Is a tropical rainforest, absolutely protected by the federal government of the United States. It is a beautiful place to go visit if you ever come down to Puerto Rico. A lot of waterfalls. The height is somewhere above 4,000 feet, so it's not too high. But it's quite a good hike, and you can go all the way to the top of the El Yunque peak. And if the day's almost like today, clear skies, it's just outstanding. It's one of those places I truly miss from when I used to live down there.
Turn next taxiway.
Alrighty, we're flying between the runways, keeping 1,500. Back to about 120, that's a pretty good heading. Just correct that altitude.
JetBlue 553. Contact ground on 121.7.
Outstanding. Since I know the area a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and monitor. In real life, I will have called San Juan Tower, request the transition. So here we go. And just taking a look real quick at our checklist, see how we're doing here. The en route climb, we did that. And we did all these items, throttle and mixture. Cruising checklist or cruise checklist, power 21 through 27. We are 23, elevator trim adjust. You're flying a Cessna 172. You'll be using the trim wheel. And mixture, lean for desired performance economy. If you remember from the previous video, and if you haven't watched the video, I truly invite you to take a look. There's a Cessna 172 basic tutorial just to get you off the ground and flying, and there's one that follows it that we cover more in depth, checklist usage, and BFR flying with the aircraft. It will ask or suggest that we don't lean the aircraft below 3,000 feet. It's your choice, honestly, in real life too, but honestly, no reason. But if you were to lean the aircraft, it's two things. Of course, you're gonna be leaning with your mixture, right? And I have my transponder on standby mode the whole time. Wonderful job. Oh, Jose, where are we descending, brother? Let's go back to 1,500 feet. ATP minimums, baby. ATP minimums. So when you are leaning the aircraft, you're looking at this EGT here, and there's two good things about leaning. You're gonna conserve some fuel. Of course, the one thing is your EGT is gonna rise. That's what's telling you that you're leaning the aircraft. You're taking away some of that gas going into the cylinders. So we can give it a try. You'll see what I'm doing here. Look at my mixture and try to look at the EGT as well. I haven't changed the throttle. It's the same power setting. The RPMs drop a little bit. The EGT rise, but my fuel flow decrease. It's not too much, but it does a little bit for you. And of course, the higher you are, the more fuel you're gonna conserve. So for now, we can leave it at that, no problem. We're still doing 2,300 RPM, 1,440 feet instead of 1,500. And but that's not a problem. We're correcting. And here we are on our way to Culebra. It's not a very far place from Isla Grande. That is the Loiza River of our left wing. Wait, is that the Loiza River or is it the next one? It's one of those two. And look at those beautiful mountains. But today was a really nice day here in the east coast of Florida. We had some rain in the morning, and then beautiful blue skies the whole day, and now it looks pretty gnarly again outside. I don't know if it's gonna rain or not, but we'll see what happens. Looking good, my friends, looking good. Look at these views, my man. Wow. Look at old Junque. So the peak right now, if I'm not mistaken, is right below that little fresh air vent. And it's clear. So if you were hiking up there, you could probably have a beautiful view right now of down below. We're now overflying the Rio Grande area. And while we keep flying, I'm gonna see if Culebra has listed here, because that one I don't remember from the top of my head. The Unicom frequency. We'll go and take a look. Why not? Click that, and we're gonna click that, and 22.9. Gonna have that frequency here standing by. And you see, some people think that flying the little airplanes can be easy. And look, I'm losing my altitude because I'm looking at the Garmin right now, trying to get my frequency set up. If you wanted to straighten your line, since you're flying VFR, you really don't have to be tracking this GPS. You can just go here and click direct, enter, and enter, because we already have Tango Juliet Charlie Papa as our destination. Now they're saying about 113. That's 110, about there. And same thing, I'm thinking, we'll see what the wind is doing here in a second. So, little trick when you are trying to trim your aircraft and see if it's actually working properly or not. You trim it, you let go of your choke, and of course we're turning left because it's a single engine piston aircraft. It's going to have left turning tendencies, but it should, for the most part, remain on the attitude that you left it. Okay, so right now let's try to get that VSI closer to 0. I'm gonna let go. It's turning left, it's normal, but it's keeping the attitude where I want it. So that is exactly what you're looking for when you're trimming your aircraft. Looking good, looking good. Look at those views. Look at those views. So yes, my people, were flying eastbound from the San Juan area to one of the islands of Puerto Rico. Even though Puerto Rico is an island, we call it the big island, the mainland, and then you have 2 islands east that are part of Puerto Rico, Culebra and Vieques on the south. If you look at about the 2-3 o'clock direction, you can see Vieques down there, and we're gonna start seeing Culebra here shortly. I think I see it already in the horizon at about 12 o'clock. It's not the first tiny one, it's beyond that, a little bit of water to cross. And for that one, we're gonna be doing, once again, a VFR approach into Culebra runway 13. In case that it doesn't look good and we have to go around, we're gonna apply full power. We're gonna reduce the flaps to 10 degrees, continue our climb, pitching for 75, give or take. And once we're clear of the obstacles, flaps up and continue with your climb. We can climb up to probably 1,000 feet powder altitude, come back and try again. Hopefully it's not too gnarly. It's one of those airports that when you're a pilot in the Caribbean, you certainly want to have the opportunity to fly there at some point. And I did have the chance to fly there way too many times on a Cessna 172. So that was pretty awesome. Really, really cool to have the privilege to do such a thing. And I was flying for a Part 135 company down there in the East Coast that they did a lot of charters from Roosevelt Roads airport right here in the East Coast to Culebra. Here we go. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Let's see how our fuel is doing. We're about 10 gallons aside. EGT is good. Fuel flow is perfect. Temperature for the oil is about 200, 190, and pressure is on the green. Vacuum is on the green. Amps 0. Looking good, friends. Looking good. If you wanted to use your autopilot panel, we have the basic autopilot here today. You could do so. I'm going to show you here real quick how to maintain the altitude, how to use the heading mode real quick, and if you want to climb or descend. So let's go ahead and do that real quick just to show you. You can come here and click the autopilot on. Vertical speed, make sure it's showing 0, so we don't want to climb or descend just yet. Maintain that altitude of 1500. If you were to go to heading mode, it will track whatever you are putting here on your heading bug. So if I go to 120, it's gonna go back to 120. And if you go to the left, it'll do the same thing. It's gonna follow the heading you have on your heading block selected. If I go to nav, either it's gonna track your localizer here. If you were to have it on nav mode, have it on GPS mode, we're flying direct to Tango Juliet Charlie Papa, and go and click nav, and it will now track navigation, GPS, direct to Culebra Airport. If you were to, let's say, climb or you want to descend, let's say we want to go up to 1,000 feet. Let me rephrase that. To 2,000 feet, we're right now at 1,500. You can have your altitude selector here with the big knob, 2,000, and we can go and say, okay, airplane, let's go up. See the up switch here? Remember, you're going up, add power. It doesn't have auto thrust. So we add power and we climb. We can do 500 feet a minute. We can do more than that, as long as we're not flying below the stall airspeed of the airplane in clean configuration. And you're wondering now, oh my god, JGGPilot, what is the stall speed clean configuration of this aircraft? Look at your airspeed indicator real quick. The wide band is your flaps operating range, okay? And he's telling you that at 40 knots with full flaps, it can stall. Now, you see the little green band here, your normal operating speeds? It's telling you that below, this is the 50 dash mark, a little bit less than 50 knots clean configuration, we will stall the airplane. So here we go, 100 feet to level off at 2,000, and the autopilot should do a pretty decent job of leveling off here in a second. And there it is. A level off, you go back to your cruise RPM. 2300 is what we're using. Same thing, if I want to go down, I want to go down to 1,500. Here we go, the hundreds on the little knob. 1,500 on my altitude selector, and I'm going to start going down. I want to go down at 500 feet a minute. And why are we not doing it? It might be that is binded right now to the Honeycomb Bravo. Here we go. 500 feet a minute, and I want to go to 1,500. Right, you're descending the aircraft. It's going to speed up on you. So you might want to reduce your thrust or your throttle a little bit, so we don't overspeed the aircraft. Outstanding. Same thing, he's going to level off for us at 1,500. By the way, guys, 12 o'clock is Culebra Island in Puerto Rico. Awesome, awesome. G level off. I'm gonna recruise by bringing my throttle forward and going back to 2300 RPMs. Outstanding. We're gonna leave the autopilot on here for a second. We're gonna go and take a look at the checklist, and we're looking here at the descent checklist. We're getting pretty close. I'm gonna accomplish that now. The same power as desired. Interesting, as desired. Yeah, of course it has to be as desired. Make sure it's gonna be adjusted. We're gonna have it full. Altimeter is gonna be set. We're gonna use the same one we use in Isla Grande. It's not that far. Nav GPS set. Fuel selector valve both. And flaps as desired. That will make my descent checklist complete. And for before landing, we're gonna have it here standing by, but pilot and passenger seats on the most upright position. Seats and seat belts are gonna be secured and locked. Fuel selector is still on both. Look one more time. Make sure full rich. Landing and taxi lights, I'm gonna have them on already because we're super close. And autopilot will be turned off in a moment. For normal landing, we'll maintain from 65 to 75. On the airspeed, we're gonna do full flaps. We're gonna reduce it to 65 to 70 again, no problem. We'll fly, we'll touch down, we'll stop the airplane and exit. We're gonna have here our post flight standing by. And from now on, my friends, autopilot's coming to off. And I'm gonna take controls one more time. Aha! Beautiful, beautiful day to fly in the Caribbean. Here we go. Gonna start going down to 1,000 feet. And I'm gonna leave my heading bulk on the runway heading of 130, which is about there. Looking good. Fun fact about Culebra. Culebra, throughout the year, the winds are almost always from the east, northeast. Winter time, even though Puerto Rico really doesn't have a winter season, being in the Caribbean all, the winds mostly come from the north. So imagine the runway, which is in between those hills down there. You're gonna see it here in a few minutes. Getting the winds from the north on these hills, and that orographic lifting and mechanical turbulence and all the fun stuff that happens with the wind and mountains and hills and stuff like that, it makes for fun approaches. And by fun, I mean gnarly. I'm gonna start reducing my speed. Want to start configuring early so we can just focus on flying the aircraft. What we're doing right now is flying towards Flamenco Beach. Here we go on the wide arc. First notch of flaps. And Culebra traffic. November 1, Juliet Golf, Cessna 172, inbound, full stop, runway 13, Culebra. Oh.
Tower for landing clearance on runway 13.
Sorry, San Juan Tower, or San Juan approach. All right, I'm gonna go to my second notch of flaps, and I'm gonna start working my way down. In Culebra traffic, November 1, Juliet Golf is inbound runway 13 over Flamenco Beach, full stop, Culebra. I kind of want to be at about 600, 500 feet over the beach here, Flamenco Beach in Culebra. By the way, it's a vacation destination because the waters here are pristine. So if you ever have the chance to go on vacation to San Juan, Puerto Rico, please don't doubt on doing that. You don't need a passport if you're a USA citizen. And it's just gorgeous. So we're gonna be flying the airplane between these two mountains there. I'm gonna go full flaps. And that way we have the airplane fully configured. All my lights are on, mixture's rich, looking good. And the thing I'm gonna do is once we go over the little hills here, and I have the runway, it's pretty much a left sharp turn and power to idle. You need to land to touch down before the first taxiway. If you don't make it there, guaranteed that you will be kissing the fence or at least mowing the grass for free for the airport authorities. Here we go, 65 to 70 in the airspeed. That looks really good. And don't be afraid, get it close to the trees. I'm gonna kind of get close here to the trees on the right like we used to do in real life. Keep that nose down. I have the runway in sight. And you square this a little bit, start getting the power out. And you throw it in there, baby. I'm at idle right now. Start working that flare a little bit. And touchdown before the first taxiway. We made it, guys. We made it. I'm gonna help the braking here with the aileron. And outstanding. Culebra traffic, November 1, Juliet Golf, Cessna 172 is making a right exit on Alpha 2. We're gonna be parking at the terminal, Culebra traffic. Here we go, guys. Making the left turn on Alpha 2. Clear left and clear right. I'm impressed that there's a citation here of that size. That seems impossible to me. All right, real quick, after landing checklist, flaps come to up. And of course, you don't need your landing light, your strobe lights on right now. And we're gonna have the securing the airplane checklist here standing by. Let's go and get a parking spot for us. And they all look full, so I'm just gonna go ahead and park next to that beautiful jet. That way nobody has to walk too much. And by nobody, I mean myself. Here we go. All right, I like it right here. Parking brake set. Kill that taxi light. And here we go, securing the aircraft, parking brake set. Electrical equipment will go to off, which will be turned off by the avionics switch. Come on. Here we go, avionics switch off. Mixture, idle cut off. Idle cut off. There you go, I stopped like almost in an instant in there. Master switch gonna go to off. Control lock will be installed and fuel selector left or right so we prevent cross-fitting. I'm gonna kill that beacon and that nav light before we do that. Here we go, magnetos to off, master switch to off. Put that on the left side for now. Let's exit. Wow, guys, we made it to Culebra, Puerto Rico. Look at this view. I don't think you'll ever see a jet like that landing here. There's just no way. But literally, if I'm not mistaken, someone in a Citation Mustang did once, but don't quote me. You saw the airport, short runway. You gotta bring the airplane through those hills, close to the trees. And it's a short runway, sloping down. But it makes for a fun BFR flight to practice our basic flying skills, basic navigation, basic checklist usage. And the most important part is enjoying the flight simulator. Thank you for joining me on my first ever live stream on YouTube. It's been an outstanding experience learning how to do all this and sharing the thing or two I know about aviation. And hopefully we can get back together for some more fun in Flight Simulator. This was JGGPilot. You'll have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.